The execution platform stood in the pack square, silver chains gleaming under the blood moon. Aria knelt at its center, wrists bound, her crime announced for all to hear, for the sin of loving outside her rank, for defiling the sacred bloodline laws, for carrying the child of an Alpha while bearing Omega blood. The crowd jeered. Stones flew, but Aria's eyes remained fixed on the forest edge, where shadows moved with purpose. Then he came. Lucian emerged from darkness like death itself, the Alpha King they all feared, the one whose name was whispered like a curse. His presence made the air itself recoil. "Stop," he commanded, and the executioner's blade froze mid-swing. The elder's voice shook. "You cannot interfere. The law is sacred." "I am the law," Lucian snarled, and his eyes found Aria's. In them, she saw the same wild desperation that had driven them to this moment, the same consuming need that had made criminals of them both. "If loving her is a crime," he said, loud, enough for every wolf to hear, "then I'd commit it again and again, until the moon herself strikes me down." The crowd gasped. An Alpha defending an Omega was heresy, but Lucian was already moving, and what happened next would destroy everything their world believed about love, power, and destiny. Even the moon seemed to hold its breath, as if it knew tonight would rewrite the laws of love itself. 6 months earlier, Aria's fingers bled as she scrubbed the packhouse floors, but she didn't stop. Stopping meant punishment. Stopping meant attention. And for an Omega in the Silver Fang pack, attention was never good. Missed a spot, wrought blood. The kick came without warning, sending her sprawling across the wet stone. Aria tasted copper but stayed down. Submissive. Exactly as they expected. For a heartbeat, she imagined sinking her teeth into Marcus's throat. The fantasy vanished fast, but the moon saw it. "Pathetic," Beta Marcus sneered. 20 years old and still can't shift properly. You're barely even a wolf." He was right, of course. Her wolf was weak, small, unable to fully transform. In a world where power determined everything, she was less than nothing. A genetic mistake kept alive only for labor. The laws were clear. Alphas mated with alphas or strong betas. Betas found their equals. And Omegas? Omegas were sterilized at 21 to prevent their weak blood from spreading. Tomorrow was Aria's birthday. "Clean this up." Marcus spat on the floor she'd just washed. "The Alpha King arrives tonight. If he sees one speck of dirt, I'll personally ensure your sterilization is done without herbs." Aria waited until his footsteps faded before pushing herself up. Blood dripped from her lip onto clean stone. She watched it spread, dark against white, and thought about running. But where would an Omega run that the packs wouldn't find her? That night, hidden in the servant's alcove, she watched the Alpha King arrive. Lucian Blackwood was everything the stories claimed. Massive, lethal, radiating power that made even alphas bare their throats. But it was his eyes that caught her. Cold as winter storms, empty as graveyards. Eyes that had seen too much death. Their pack, Alpha, Garrett, practically groveled. "Your Majesty, we're honored. Spare me." Lucian's voice ground like stone. "I'm here for the Alliance Treaty. Show me to my quarters." As the procession passed her hiding spot, the impossible happened. Lucian stopped, his nostrils flared. His entire body went rigid. Slowly, devastatingly, his head turned toward her alcove. Their eyes met through shadows. The world exploded. Candles guttered out one by one, shadows crawling toward her like recognition. Aria gasped as heat shot through her body, electric and consuming. Every cell screamed with need, with a pull so powerful it brought her to her knees. She could smell him, pine and thunder and darkness. Lucian's eyes went wide, then narrowed to slits. He took on a step toward her, then stopped. His fists clenched so hard she heard bones crack. "Your Majesty?" Alpha Garrett questioned. Lucian tore his gaze away, but Aria saw his chest heaving, saw control hanging by a thread. "Nothing," he growled. "Show me to my quarters, now." As they left, Aria pressed her hand to her racing heart, and knew with terrifying certainty what had just happened. The mate bond between an Alpha King and an Omega, a crime punishable by death. But the moon hadn't finished with them yet. Aria tried to run that night, made it to the tree line before he materialized from shadow. Don't. His command froze her muscles, the power of an alpha, magnified by the bond. A twig snapped nearby. They both tensed. Please, she whispered when silence returned. If anyone finds out, they'll execute you. His voice was emotionless, but she could smell his rage. Sharp. Metallic. An Omega can't mate an Alpha. The bloodline laws forbid it. Then let me go. He laughed, dark and bitter. You think I haven't tried? You think I wanted this? He moved closer. Her traitorous body swayed toward him. I've killed hundreds, destroyed entire packs. I am the monster they tell pups about. Guard footsteps echoed in the distance. He pulled her deeper into shadow. You call yourself a monster, she whispered, but you look at me like I'm salvation. Something cracked in his expression. You're sent, he said roughly. It's not normal. Nothing about me is normal. I'm a failed Omega who can barely shift. She turned to leave. Forget this happened. His hand caught her wrist. Lightning shot through her veins. They both gasped. His eyes went gold with wolf. I can't, he admitted. I can't forget. My wolf wants to claim you here. Now, laws be damned. But you won't. Silence stretched between them. The laws exist for a reason. Mixing Alpha and Omega blood creates problems. What kind? More footsteps. Closer. He pressed her against a tree, shielding her with his body. Pups? Too powerful to control. He breathed against her ear when the danger passed. Wolves that go feral. My own mother was an Omega. Hidden. She died birthing me. Aria's heart clenched. I'm sorry. Don't be. It's why I'll never take a mate. Never risk. He stopped, realizing what he'd already done. The bond chose differently, she said. The bond is wrong. But he was breathing her in like a drowning man. She felt his teeth graze her throat, felt control shredding. Run, he growled. Run far and fast, because if you stay, I'll destroy everything to have you. She should have been terrified. Instead, she touched his face. He flinched. What if I want to burn? She whispered. His control shattered. The kiss was violent, desperate, consuming. When he pulled back, they were both shaking. This is a crime, he said raggedly. I know. They'll kill you. I know. I won't be able to protect you from the laws. I know. He studied her face. Then why? Because for the first time, I feel alive. She met his gaze steadily. Even if it kills me, at least I'll have lived. Something shifted in his expression. A crack in ice. A glimpse of the man beneath. Tomorrow night, he said. After your ceremony, come to the East Tower. Why? Because if we're going to commit this crime, we're going to make it worth the punishment. Love is the only law that matters. The sterilization chamber reeked of blood and herbs. Aria lay on stone, trying not to scream, as the healer carved ritual marks into her abdomen, each cut designed to sever her ability to carry pups. Almost done, rot blood, the healer muttered. But something was wrong. The wounds that should have closed remained open. Bleeding. The healer frowned, cut deeper. Still, her body rejected the ritual. Silver poured from the wounds, glowing brighter until the air itself sang. Symbols flared under the table, answering a name older than language. Impossible, the healer breathed. Alpha Garrett entered, took one look, paled. Her scent, he said slowly. It's changing. They left her bleeding while they consulted ancient texts. Hours passed before they returned. You're not an Omega. Garrett's voice turned calculating. You're a lunar wolf. Hidden, suppressed. Your bloodline is worth kingdoms. Horror flooded her as understanding dawned. She wasn't worthless anymore. She was too valuable. We'll auction you. Every alpha will bid. You'll make this pack wealthy. No. Guards, take her to the tower. Tomorrow, we announce the discovery of the last lunar wolf. As they dragged her away, she caught Lucian's scent. He'd been listening. She felt his rage through the bond, tasted murder. That night, he came for her. The guards never saw him coming. One moment standing, the next, unconscious. Lucian broke down her door. We're leaving. Now. They'll hunt us. Let them. He pulled her close. You're not an Omega. You're lunar, blessed. The laws don't apply. But they'll still. I'll tear apart anyone who tries to take you. Alpha. Elder. The moon herself. You'd throw away everything? Power means nothing without you. He kissed her. Softer. Reverent. I've been dead inside for years. You make me want to live. She felt truth through the bond, his soul calling to hers. Then let's live, she whispered, together. But she didn't tell him what the text had revealed. That lunar wolves mated to alphas always died in childbirth, just like his mother. For one suspended breath, the world was finally still. Then came the running. The moonstone caverns hid them for 3 precious days. Abandoned, ancient, saturated with magic that masked their sense. Tell me about your parents, she said on their 3rd night, curled against his chest. Lucian's hand stilled in her hair. Silence. My mother was 16 when father found her. An Omega, but also different. Silver wolf, pure as moonlight. Lunar, Aria breathed. We didn't know then. Father hid her nature. They were happy for exactly 9 months. His voice went hollow. I tore her apart being born. Guilt twisted in her chest. He went mad after. Became the monster everyone feared. Taught me love was weakness. He paused. Until you. She touched his face. I'm not going anywhere. You can't promise that. Watch me. Wind rattled the cave entrance. They both tensed. Relaxed when nothing followed. Make me yours, she whispered. Completely. Crime or not. His hands gripped her waist. Aria. Mark me. She felt the world holding its breath. This was no act of dominance. It was surrender, chosen freely. At last, he bit down. Her world exploded. The bond slammed into place. Complete. Irrevocable. She could feel everything. His desperate love, his terror, his absolute devotion. And beneath it all, the truth. He'd been planning to die the night they met, seeking death in battle. Then he'd scented her. My turn, she gasped. His roar shook the cavern. Not pain, triumph. They made love by firelight, desperate, tender. And when she came apart in his arms, she saw her wolf transform, no longer weak, but silver and magnificent. You're changing, Lucian said in wonder. Silver threads appeared in her hair. The bond is awakening your true nature. But with awakening came visions. An execution platform. Silver chains. A choice between love and life. She pushed them away, focused on him. On now. Tomorrow would bring what it would. Love is the only law. Dawn brought hunters. Not through tracking. Through betrayal. Someone had seen. Someone had told. Aria woke to silver chains. Lucian's rage. 12 alphas with blessed weapons to bring him down. Lucian Blackwood, Elder Matthias announced. You violated sacred bloodline laws. The sentence is death. She's lunar. The laws don't. She was designated Omega. The classification stands. Aria laughed. The sound startled everyone. Pure blood? She struggled to her feet. Test me then. Here. Now. Prove I'm the corruption you claim. Unless you're afraid, she challenged. They drew the ritual circle. Spoke ancient words. Light erupted from Aria. Pure silver, bright as the full moon. Wolves whimpered. Alphas dropped to their knees. Instinct bowing before something older than power. Everyone could see the truth. Aria wasn't just lunar. She was the moon goddess's direct descendant. The source from which all wolves descended. Impossible, Matthias breathed. The Omega designation was deliberate suppression. Your own laws state the goddess's line can mate anyone. Silence stretched. Even so, you've upset the natural order. Then let's fix it. Lucian had broken free. I challenge anyone who objects. Single combat, to the death. 7 alphas stepped forward. Lucian smiled. Terrifying. All at once. The battle was brief, brutal. When the last fell, he stood covered in blood but unbroken. Anyone else? Silence. Then our union stands. There's still precedent, Matthias insisted. If we allow this, the system crumbles. Good, Aria said. A system built on oppression should crumble. The ground shook. The moon appeared in daylight. Full. Impossible. A voice echoed in every mind. My children have forgotten. Love was always meant to transcend boundaries. The laws you created were never mine. The moon goddess had spoken. Matthias raised his blade anyway. Goddess or not. Lucian tore his throat out. Standing over the body, the Alpha King addressed the crowd. The old laws die today. No one moved. Love is the only law. 6 months passed, building a new world, rewriting laws, facing endless challenges, but also 6 months of love so complete it made every fight worth it. Aria stood on their balcony, hand on swollen belly. Twins, the healer confirmed. The pregnancy that should have killed her by now. You're worried, Lucian said, wrapping around her from behind. The visions are stronger. I see that platform, those chains. I won't let bells ring. Invasion alarm. Alpha Garrett had returned with an army. Her former pack, plus dozens of traditionalist allies. Surrender the abomination, or we burn everything. Lucian moved to respond. Aria caught his arm. No, my fight. She walked out alone, heavy with child. Head high, the army parted, some instinctively bowing to her power. Hello, Garrett. Come to reclaim your property? You were an investment, one that was stolen. I was a person, one you tortured for 20 years. Silverlight made wolves whimper. But I forgive you. He laughed. I don't want forgiveness. I want your blood, the goddess declared. The goddess can be wrong. Gasps at the blasphemy. Then let her judge us directly. You and me. She raised her voice. You give up your alpha status. I give up my lunar powers. Let the goddess decide who makes the greater sacrifice. Perfect trap. Refuse and admit his power was everything. Accept and risk it all. I accept. The moon pulsed. Light enveloped them both. She felt her lunar essence drawn out. Saw his alpha, strength fading. For a moment, they stood equal. Both ordinary, both vulnerable. The moon spoke. One sacrificed power for love. The other sacrificed nothing, for his power was never truly his. Garrett screamed as his wolf was ripped away entirely. Aria's powers returned threefold, blazing bright. The age of bloodline laws ends now. Love will be the only law. The army knelt, but the strain was too much. Aria collapsed. Blood pooling. The twins. They're coming. For one suspended breath, victory hung in the air. Then pain returned. 18 hours of light and shadow. 3 times her heart stopped. 3 times his howl pulled it back. Let me go, Aria whispered. Save them. Never. Lucian's eyes blazed. You promised to fight. I'm tired. Then rest. I'll fight for you. He pressed their foreheads together. His strength flooded the bond, his life force supplementing hers. Take everything. Just stay. Dawn brought 2 perfect pups, a boy with dark hair and silver eyes, a girl with silver hair and golden eyes, born human but wrapped in moonlight. But Aria was fading. I'm sorry. I promised to stay. Then keep your promise. He did the unthinkable, began transferring his alpha essence to her. Not just strength, his very nature, the core of dominance. Lucian, no, I'd rather be ordinary with you than alpha without you. Agony for both, rewriting souls. When it finished, Aria's eyes opened, strong, whole, changed. A balance of alpha and lunar, and Lucian. Barely a beta now. Your kingdom? She wept. You gave up everything. You are my kingdom. He kissed her gently. Our children need their mother. The twins cooed, reaching, eyes glowing, silver and gold. The first of a new breed. The alphas won't accept you now, she warned. Then you'll protect me. He smiled, genuine. My warrior Luna. Forever? Forever. News spread quickly. Some called him weak. Others called him the strongest wolf who ever lived, strong enough to choose love over dominance. But in their chambers, nursing twins while he read ancient texts, Aria knew the truth. They hadn't committed a crime by loving. The crime had been a world that tried to keep them apart. Would you do it again? She asked. Knowing the cost? Every time, in every life, crime or not. Outside, the moon shone bright, blessing what laws had condemned, and across territories, other forbidden loves began to hope. Years later, bards wouldn't call it crime. They'd call it revolution. Two souls who refused to let anything keep them apart. And when young wolves asked if love was worth becoming criminals, the answer was always the same. They'd commit that crime again. Until the world itself changed. Far above them, the moon watched and smiled, as if remembering the night love rewrote her laws.